today we're going to talk about cross-cultural business communications. At first, so to start, we just let's talk about the term, what is the whole process, or what is the communication. Communication is a process that involves sending and receiving messages through the verbal and non-verbal methods. So we can say when we communicate, we are using words, and also we're using our body, our emotions, our emotional state, our physical state, so our gestures. So and everybody knows that, but we must just repeating the whole this term communication. Communication, as everybody knows, is a two-way means of communicating information in the form of thoughts, opinions, and ideas between two or more individuals with the purpose of building an understanding. So the purpose of communication, we can say, out of this status, we must build an understanding. We must to get understanding between those who are involved in the process of communication. Also, the purpose of communication in our daily life. Communication helps us to build relationships by allowing us to share our experiences and needs, and helps us to be in connection with the others. It's the essence of life, we can talk about this, allowing us to express our feelings, pass on information, and share thoughts. But the main purpose also to understand and be understood between those who are in the process. Cross-cultural communications is the communication between people who have cultural differences due to nationality, age, working style, gender, ethnicity, race, etc. So it can be verbal and non-verbal, and can include the use of words, gestures, eye contact, or body language when interacting cross-culturally. So it's the relationships and communication between different countries, between different nationalities, and also genders and race. We can say the basic elements of cross-cultural communication. The easiest way to overcome hurdles and avoid misunderstandings in cross-cultural communication is to first get to know the basic elements of this type of communication. So what can be include in this? Awareness, preparation, language, humor, and openness. So some people reckon these are the main basic elements of cross-cultural communication. We can say that awareness. So we must be aware of those participants of this process. So who are in the process of this cross-cultural communication? So awareness, to understand the differences between people. Preparation, also we must get prepared to this process and be prepared to face some difficulties, to face some misunderstandings at first, and then get over these misunderstandings, overcome them, overcome hurdles and difficulties. Language also is good that we speak one language, for example, English, when we're from different countries, from different nationalities. But if there's some lack of knowledge in language, so it also we must be prepared to overcome these difficulties. Humor, so we must not be very serious or very I would say with so to get this serious when we're in difficulties in the process of communication, because it's must understand that it can be hard for the other people from different nationality to express their feelings, their thoughts in language which is not native to them. Openness, also to be open-minded, so to get the information, to try to understand it, to put this through your brain, so to say, through your essence, and to get to know it, to get to understand it, and to accept this information. So to say about the concept, what is the whole term cross-culture? We can say that cross-culture is a concept that recognizes the differences among business people of different nations, also backgrounds and ethnicities, and the importance of bringing them. With this tendency to globalization, cross-cultural education has become critically important to business success in opening up and maintaining new markets. Can we say that why are cross-cultural skills so important? We can be sure that with cross-cultural skills, people are exposed to information and facts about their own preconceptions, mentalities, cultures, and views, which they may not be contemplated. Cross-cultural skills help people to understand more about themselves by learning about others, about themselves, about other people, about the goals of communication, about this these tendencies to start to understanding about these difficulties and how to overcome them. We can say that effective cross-cultural communication is about all parties of the whole process feeling comfortable. In any conversation with a non-native English speaker, so it's such a tip that to try to treat them with respect, do your best to communicate clearly and give them encouragement when they respond. So, and this will help to build their confidence and trust in you, in every person of this process, communication process. When we're communicating, especially with cross-cultural communication, there can be barriers. And what can we say about cross-cultural barriers? Also, they can be known as cultural barriers or cross-cultural barriers. So there are communicational challenges faced by people due to their differences in cultures. The main cross-cultural barriers are ethnocentrism, stereotyping, psychological, language, geographical distance, and conflicting values, of course. So to overcome these cross-cultural communication barriers, at first, we can say that we must be open-minded to this, to the information it has been perceived. Possess efficient communication system. Of course, if you have different difficulties in language, you also can try to express the other your thoughts in other words. So so to say that difficulties in language, it can be in every person. So every person can face that if he is not an English speaker. So it's difficult to everybody, and we must understand it. So possessing efficient communication system, so trying to express your thoughts in different words, not from your own language, but from language which you are speaking, but in other words. Next, third, mind cultural differences awareness. So when you're talking to the other person from different country, also you must be aware of this differences in mentality, differences in their also maybe the time of the day, also maybe from about their situation in the same moment. Maybe he's facing the other difficulties and why he's trying to express his thoughts in this from this point of view, and why he is trying to say in these words, and what he's wanting, what is the purpose of his speaking. If he's doesn't agree with you, what he's trying to say and why he's trying to say so, and why he agrees with something that you're saying and why he doesn't agree with something you're saying. So trying to speaking of this, trying to the purpose of this speaking, so to understand the whole differences and also to be aware of this. When you have the matter with the team members, if you're just big team, so try to let the new team member, every one of them, introduce themselves. So we must listen to the every person of this team members. Every must introduce themselves and to say that purpose, to say some words about themselves, about what he's doing here, why he is here, and what why he is interested in this communication process, and what is the goal of this. For example, meeting. For example, this why he is just in this process, in this day, this time. So what we are speaking about, what we are trying to get, what is the whole goal, the every person goal of every person, and the whole goal of this communication process. Then the next, establish clear rules, but don't rely exclusively on them. So you can say about your rules, you can say, and not such to say the rule, like the rule of the game, just say what your maybe a rule or some points on this negotiation process. So you just can clear that up, just to try to speak clearly so that every member of this process understands this. So, and you're just establishing your rules, but every can establish their own rules. But you just don't rely on these points. And for in my mind, so every member of this process must not clearly rely on these rules, but every has this right to express his points. Then the next, team building. So we just, of course, when we're in the negotiation process, we don't just have our own purposes, our process of negotiation. Team building is important, so we just must relate to other person in this process, like a team member. So team building, so to say, is important for understanding the meanings of the thoughts of every person. Then the next, seek feedback. Of course, you must not just speak your own or just one person when speaks to long period of time. If there is a team member communication, so everyone must speak and also show his feedback. When there are questions, every member of the whole process must talk their thoughts, their maybe opinions on some thought, and so it will be feedback. So you're just not seeking feedback, you're just not asking for feedback, but it must be understandable. So this communication that can be from every person of this of all members. Also, the last one on the slide, use simpler and more accurate language. Of course, we're understanding that we are talking not our native language, and every person, when we're dealing with cross-cultural communication, almost every person, they are from different countries, and even if there are members who are from England or United States, for example, he is the native English speaker. Of course, also he must choose this accurate language and be understandable. How to say this? Must get know to that other people are from different countries and they not be they can be not such fluent in English, and the more simpler words the better. So we just try not to use such very complicated words, sophisticated words, or some very wise, very so rare words or slang, because it can be difficult to other people. So to speaking about cultural conflicts, also they also can be experience of life, and of course the goal of every person in not such a goal, but the point of every member of this communication process to avoid cultural conflicts. We can say that cultural conflicts in society can arise from difference in beliefs, in values, and customs, traditions, or everything you want to call it. So everything you can just make up about. Conflicts can be on every point. So it can be religious conflicts, tension between different religious groups can lead to cultural conflicts, and historical, contemporary conflicts between various religious communities. So to avoid conflicts, of course, just I need to understand other people and just to accept them like they are. So, but when the goal of our meeting or communication, of course, it's not to avoid or to get to one point in the questions about those that can lead to the conflict. Of course, we must avoid these questions. So try to, when we are dealing like cross-cultural communication, it's better to speak on those points which may not lead to cultural conflicts. What can I say that I almost in December taught about communication, just to point out that again. So to communicate effectively, of course, we use gestures, we use body language, tone of voice, so and so principle is just the fact in the world. So the words just, as we can see, that 7%. Just words, they will be not so much in the for the effective communication process. We must use the tone of voice, of course. Also, we can say that tone of voice, it's not just the loudness of the voice, it's just loud or not loud, or of course it includes the way you speak, the way you some points, the way you just glad to hear the others, just your attitude to other members. Of course, it also includes in this tone voice. So, for example, 38 or to 40%, I think that's, of course, is so important like body language, because body language also shows your attitude to other members, as such as tone of voice, your attitude to other members of the communication process. Let's a little talk about communication skills. At the core, communication skills encompass back and forth communication designed to reach an agreement between two or more parties who are in speaking process. You can say back and forth, so just when it's feedback also. Back and forth communication may be used to describe the process of exchanging messages with someone, either in person, through email, text, or other means. So we can say that back and forth. So you talk and you are being spoken to, and the other person speaks, and the other person is being spoken to. The next one, communication skills, so to say, like the term. So it's the abilities you use when giving and receiving different kinds of information. Information can be in every kind, so to say, or positive or negative, and use the ability to give this information, the words, the attitude to give this information, and the way you receive this information also shows your communication skills. So it just like, so to say, a sort of even your experience, your even talent, of course, is more practice, your experience. So communication skills, they are abilities you must learn too. They are not from your childhood. They from your childhood. You're just learning step by step, year by year. You're learning to communicate. That's from children, then from your universities, then business relationships between people, between enterprises, and with every matter in your life, with every point, some deal, some strategies, every step you take, you're just make yourself higher up in this communication skill. Some examples include communicating new ideas, feelings, or even an update on some projects. Of course, we can say that communication skills, they involve at basic point, listening, speaking, observing, and empathizing. Just let's talk about skills required to good communication. Interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills, the skills between different people. Interpersonal skills involve proficiency in managing relationships, the ability to interact well with others. A person with interpersonal skills is effective in leading change, has good communication skills, and can resolve conflicts through cooperation and negotiation. So it's just the person which is able to get easily with other people, to listen them, to be listened to speak to them, and he is ready every time when he's been spoken to. So he is managed. He has managed this ability to communicate good, to empathize, to cooperate with other people, to negotiate, and also to resolve conflicts, maybe not lead to this conflict. So there are people, the best, I think, that can even not lead to the conflict when they're just observing that there's just is about to the conflict to be arise. They are just they rephrase these words. They're just re-answer the other questions. What can we do not to make the conflicts, and what can we do to make our own way out of this problem, for example. So, and I think that's the best interpersonal skills of the person. Active listening, of course. It's just these communication skills. They are involve this active listening. So active listening is another communication or negotiation process, let's say, point in every communication, in business communication, in our daily life communication. When we are speaking about cross-cultural communication, it can be also on different points, business points. The most of time is, of course, business points, but it can be communication on such as some daily life points. But active listening is very good. Can do the best whatever problem or task or some matter you're speaking to. Active listener will not react impulsively in the conflicting situation. So as we can say that not lead to conflicting situation, so we must not react impulsively, be calm and trying to open our mind and listen to another person. Listen actively to what everybody has to say. So when we're speaking about to listen actively, it doesn't mean to listen and react impulsively. It means that we just calmly listen what the other person is trying to say, what he's trying to express, what he's trying to identify, their underlying causes, the matter he is speaking about. And then to come to a conclusion, of course, listen to every person of this communication process and trying to come to one conclusion. We not every time we can be at win-win situations. Also, we something in this communication process. Every member of the communication process can lose something and can win something, but the better one, the whole conclusion, to come to conclusion, which everybody is at the best agree with this idea, something to the whole point is the best, is not every body agree on the 100% with some conclusion, but they are timely, not for a long time. They can be to one point, to come to one point at the some time, and then to another on another meeting, or till another meeting. They just can something on maybe some or telephone, some covering these points, just tell about speak about this something they're not agree with, and of course they can just change this the conclusion, but is another matter. But when we're talking about one meeting, of course, it's better to come to one conclusion, which can be revised to another meetings or communication process. And of course, it's better all the same not to come to the conflict, not to lead to the conflict, even if you're not agree with every point of the meeting. Emotional control. Of course, emotional control refers to the ability to control, redirect disruptive moods and emotions, and express them appropriately. Emotional control depends on an individual's ability to exercise restraint and control impulses during emotional expression, which is an important factor in business communication. So we can say in every communication, emotional control. So we control our emotions. So it's when wise people and smart people in every process, they just not will lead to some emotional distable situation, or how this to say, some not very good situation, psychological. They will just control their moods. They just will not lead to this. They will not lose their emotions to be uncontrollable. So, and maybe if there's some other person just not very stable in his emotional state, wise people in this communication process, they can just take the situation in their control and just to calm the other persons down. So it's ability to exercise not their own control, not their own emotional impulses if they have such, but also to calm down the other person and take under control the impulses, emotional impulses of the other person. So, and they can express their emotional state in more calmly words, more smoothly, more appropriately, you can say. So this is the whole point of this, so to say, health communication, we can say so. Collaboration and teamwork. Collaboration. So it's collaboration. If we see to this word, so we can say this means teamwork. So when we are collaboration, so like cooperation in some point, it means teamwork also. So the person who knows a little about some different languages, for example, Spanish, Italian, or French, so we can say that the root of this word collaboration is from their languages, Romanian languages, which can mean cooperation, co-work, collaboration. And we can say that this the ability to carry out effective teamwork, and it's an important negotiation communication skill. The ability to take decisions when we're working, when we are doing our matters in teamwork, when we're working, so to say, in teamwork. The ability to take decisions, we must not be passive in this process. Also, we must be active and we must be ready to take decisions, to carry out discussion, to hold this discussion, whatever it is, no matter on doesn't matter on what point is the discussion is. So to ask questions, to be open-minded. If something is not understandable, more and more questions, and also feedback. So if there is difficulties in language, just we can try to ask different questions in different words. So try that the other person understands your question, and he is understand even himself when he is trying to express his feelings, his thoughts in not native language, because it's also understanding needs understanding that is not very easy. When we have experience and we have the first meeting in cross-cultural communication, of course it will be easier in some time, maybe year by year, meeting by meeting, it will be easier, but all the same, not native language is that point that every person in this cross-cultural communication is facing to, and it will not be so easy on 100% as your native language. Of course, in even discussions, even in non-native language, just try to overcome these difficulties, just to ask more questions and to ask more feedback. So not to try to do that every person, not just be silent in this communication process, because maybe some people can be silent because they don't know how to express their feelings, not that because they are too shy to say something, to ask something additional, but they just maybe little afraid of not being understandable so much what they're trying to say. Maybe lack of some words, lack of some knowledge. Even every person who is not native language, not native speaker in English, and he is trying to say, he feels in himself these difficulties to express his feelings and thoughts in English. No matter how many years or how many meetings he already has, or how many conflicts he has overcome. So in every situation, it is difficulty. So openness and its teamwork, it includes that back and forth communication. So, and working to this, look again at the slide, that the ability to take decisions, to carry out discussion in a participative manner, taking into account and giving values to views and opinions of everyone. So it's the great asset for effective negotiation or communication. Then at this point, empathy. So it's we can say in other words, ability to share someone else's feelings or experience. It's not that we're just understanding and empathy, of course, in some not to make this the whole process in empathetic process, of course, It's not just like watching the movie or talking about some things that just need too much empathizing. Of course, if we are not facing cross-cultural communication, maybe someone has faced this, that cross-cultural communication on our daily life. So it can be two persons from different countries, and they're speaking English, and they're just leading this communication process to empathizing process, of course. But we're in business communication, of course, empathy also can be can be included, but little, so to say, to make the process more smoothly, but not these to empathize too much, because we will not in this. If we're doing this, we're not will solve our serious problems if we are speaking about business communication. So, and so to say that ability to share feelings and experience, we can say that ability to express experiences, not just our feelings, but express experiences, share experiences on some point what we're speaking about. It's also empathizing, empathetic process. So it is the proficiency of understanding the emotional state of mind of others, and deal with this accordingly. So we're listening, we're giving our feedback in this manner, in this empathetic manner accordingly. So the same way. It's like we can say in practice that people high on empathy are self-disciplined, they are calm, they're competitive, they're initiate, they're understandable, and they're very pleasant people. They are resourceful and determined. So they are, we can say that is a good communication skill also. To go on with patience, it's also out of empathy. It goes further out of empathy. Patience. Patience is another a negotiation skill or communication skill. Very important in every communication, in business communication, in our daily life communication. A person who possesses patience is able to respond rather than react, and is not impulsive in taking decisions. So this it can be at first sight that a person can be a little so to say calm, or calm down, or a little cool, maybe to say in emotional way. But to speak more with those people, we can say that they have patience in their mind. They're just not impulsive, and with these people, it's not even better or not so stressful to lead communication, because patient people they are more tend to take good decisions, and decisions who can be perceived by and accepted by every person who is in the communication process. Communication is effective when both persons or groups communicate patiently and are able to carry out peaceful conversation. So we can say that patient people are tend to peaceful conclusions or peaceful manner to go to come to one point at the to one goal, to the goal. So peaceful manner, it's pleasant to speak to those people. What can we say about confidence? Confidence, I can say that in one's own beliefs and opinions is important in communication process. We just trust more to people who are confident. And when we're while negotiating, individual must put his own views with complete confidence and assertiveness, and reach an agreement or conclusion when is beneficial to all. So it's better, of course, to learn to be confident. Every member of the process, no matter how difficult it is, even they are not sure in something, just overcome in yourself, and is to try to get confident to in this communication process, to try to get confident what you're speaking about, and try to prove your opinions, your points of view. The next. Can we just thought about additional communication skills, if there are, if something there are something which I has not spoken about, you just can write in chat or just then ask maybe something which some additional communication skills which I am not just showed here. Friendliness. So of course it can say that it can be the different term of collaboration or some just it's emotional, so to say, way of express your thoughts, friendliness. So even in business communication, even in daily life communication, of course, friendliness is good to better understand each other. But even in some business communication, friendliness, of course, when you show your friendliness, it's the other person will be able to better listen to you, to better understand you. Offering, taking feedback, it also was, I told about that, it's just like forth and back communication. So if some people in this process are not very active to speak, and you just offer feedback, you just asking questions. If there person in this process who are silent, you just offer feedback, and they will ask questions, and they will they will try to answer them. There will be no way to keep silence in this process. For example, I can say that maybe they are too shy to, or little afraid not to show that they are not very good in language, or they are not very sure about this point, what they're trying to say. So there are the reasons, I think, can be two main reasons that people not taking feedback, that or language reason, they are just not sure about what words they try to say. They maybe not sure that they will be understood because the lack of knowledge in language, or they're not sure in their point or to what they're trying to say on the point of the whole matter. Then volume and clarity. Of course, I can say that volume in voice, it's not, it can be not understandable when the person, there are some people, they or very shy, or they just not allow speak too loud to hear them. But volume, of course, it's also bad when the person is also speaks too loud. Of course, it can be balanced in volume of your tone when you're speaking. Clarity, that you try to say what you're saying in simple words, to be so that your words can be understandable for the other persons, for the other people of this communication process. Respect, of course. So we can say friendliness, respect. So this is, you can see the elements of the one process, and just like synonyms when we're speaking about communication skills. Respect, of course, it's we can say that friendliness is the first additional on the slide, the first additional communication skill as friendliness is more to our daily life communication, and respect. I can say that respect also can be in daily life on daily tasks or our matters, daily matters communication, and also in some serious matter, of course, when business communication or some serious matters, serious problems. But whatever you are or whoever you are speaking to, respect is very important. So for other people to accept your to accept you and your words, what you're trying to say. You can say that when we're our verbal communication, we're speaking the words which we use, the words must be knowledgeable. So it's good when every person of this process of the meeting is knowledgeable to the words you are saying. So use simple words. With the simpler words, the more probability the other person is knowledgeable to this word. When you use some words when other person don't understand, of course, just you can ask questions. Is it understandable for you? Or if when something not understandable for you, just please ask questions. Because even in English, for example, there are words which are understandable to every person, and there are simple or complicated words just because they are. There are some words you cannot say in simple words. Some terms, some matters when you're discussing, you can be in the situation which you are not able to use simple words, and you are just you have to use this sophisticated, some not simple, very complicated words. Just try to express them in simple words and try to explain what you mean by this word to the other people when you're talking about some business matters. Credible, the other on the slide, credible. So can be you must say this with confidence. Credible words, of course. You when you're speaking about such matter, everything you're discussing, it could be people must believe you. So it's what is credible. So the words which you express to be believed in. So you must not lie just because if some business matter, for example, and even in situations when cross-cultural communication, of course, there are some people who are trying their words to exaggerate or something, not just lie, but maybe exaggerate or diminish or something to change the words, and so to be to make your words credible, just of course, just be confident and of course believe what you're saying. And that if you're believing what you're saying and you know about what you're saying and what you are talking to, of course, it will be simple for the other people to understand you and to believe in your words. Trustworthy, so we can say that trustworthy is also like credible. It's the trustworthy, so it's a psychological point of this process of the person. I'd like to say that trustworthy. So trustworthy words, there's also the words which are easily accepted. Honest, of course, when saying that we must be honest to other people. And what about words? So honest words, of course, there is such ways of honest words. So it's just like that they are there are just the important words at the same time, and just the best words for concrete for this situation, for this matter. Dependable. Dependable. So we can say that words they that express your thoughts, and of course can be depend on what express the matter what you're saying at. So also they are, you can say that some words on the slide they can be synonyms, but the whole point I think to get that the main point of this, that simple, that credible words that you must talk for the others to be understand it too, and believe in your words. Of course, we can. It's better to avoid words. They can be demanding, so it's not very good emotional. Emotional, how to say this, expression. It's bad emotional expression, demanding. So something that you are in the process of communication, you're demanding. So it's not very good. It's not be. It can change the whole communication process into the conflict. So demanding, demeaning words, discriminatory words, of course, can lead to the conflict. Offensive, negative, overused. Overused words just can be hard to listen to them when the person use the same words over and over again. Of course, with some situation in which we must understand this language barrier. So in some situations, overused words, we can understand that it's just because we're not native speakers, and to some extent it can be perceptive, overused words. This so just for a little small, like said Ralph Waldo Emerson, that the whole point of this expression, what you do, speak so loud I can't hear what you say. What can we say that? Try that your words be try that your words resonance with what you are doing. So what you do can be the same with what you are saying, because when people do something and saying about that in different words, so it's different what they do. For example, they're discussing some business situation and they're leading business, they're making business, and what they do and that at the meeting what they say, they're different matters. And when so it's like live, and then person and then people on the whole this meeting, in this process, they can see that person is lying. They will not want to have deal with this person. So it's better to not to lie, to speak what is really on your mind and what really you're doing. Let's think about non-verbal communication. Just the questions which you must ask yourself. So, what do you think of someone who talks too fast? So, is it that good? So there are some situations in business communication when people are good in English and they are just good at fast talking. But is it good? Or when their own wide range of speaking, or the wide circle of their acquaintances, they can speak fast, but in real life it's not very good when the person speaks too fast, because it's hard to understand him. And the same situation when the person speaks too slowly. But we can just, so to say, close our eyes on this a little, because it's difficult to speak, mm, difficult to speak not very slowly when you're some words that you don't know in your non-native language. What is high pitch associated with? So the whole point which you're going to ask. So you just when you're just expressing your expressing what you're trying to say, then you must just be confident in what you're trying to say, and you know your goal and why you say this word. And what can you say about what you think about high volume? For example, when a person is shouting, and what is associated to you? How do you accept or not accept the person who is shouting or speaking in high volumes? Because there are people which can not be not so remake, but how to say, to remake their manner of speaking, and they're oftentimes speaking high volumes. And of course, there are some expression when people more often in our daily life speak what's your tone. So is it offensive or just it's normal to you? It's just for you to think on this on these things. Of course, such cues which is good when every communication, cross-cultural or but we're talking about cross-cultural. Let's speak about this, but there are visual cues which also are important. So facial expressions, of course, everybody knows that person with good facial expressions it's not are more pleasant to speak to them than those who has not good facial expression. Eye contact. When we speak to each other, we must keep this eye contact and watch the person to in their eyes, so to make more to believe, so that person can believe in your words more than the situation which you're not looking into the eyes to the other person. So it's not accepted so good. Gestures. Of course, gestures can express your thoughts, can help to express your thoughts. Posture, so it's like you keep your body. So you just there are some person which can cross their hands on the chest. So it's not very good because it shows that you're not that this person is not open or not open-minded, or he's not he is doesn't want to listen to something, or he is such confident on his point that he want to prove something which he is sure in, and he doesn't want to make the situation more smoothly. So it's not very good when the posture is such not very pleasant. Proxemics. What can I say about proxemics is the space, use of space when we're talking between people. So we have, for example, we just look through four distances. That's intimate distance, personal distance, social, and public distance. So of course you must understand on which point and with whom you're speaking to when you're not having the meeting online, when you're offline with the person. Of course, there's intimate distance and personal distance. We have when business communication, we just must avoid these intimate and personal distances. At business communication, we just use social distance or public distance. Then just to think on why do we ask questions. So questions, I repeat that. Asking questions is the main to keep this forth and back communication is important to ask questions and to get the answers to the questions. It's gaining and providing information. It shows obtaining participation, shows that everybody is involved in the negotiation process. Check understanding or interest. When you're asking questions and it shows to you, you check understanding, you check the interest of the other person. It shows to you, are the other people interested in what you are saying, and is this information important to them about what you are saying? Get people to think. When you're asking questions, it it makes the other people to think on the information, whether they even want or don't want. When the question is being asked, so the mind of every person, so to say, making this tension to seek the answer to the question. The next, reach agreement. The point of the asking questions is to gain information, provide information, to check interest, but also the last goal, to reach agreement. It will be very good. Not every time happens to be so, but of course, when we're asking the whole questions, we understand the meanings, the minds, opinions of every person. Is easier will be to reach an agreement on the whole point of this communication process. Discover differences. When reaching the agreement, of course, we will face these differences of the opinions of the other people, and it's normal because it's very rare occasion when every person in the communication process is agree with everything. So there will be disagreements, there will be differences on other on every or some point, and we must through this asking questions, we must reach the agreement on this whole point. Then there we can say that questions can be good and not, so to say, not very good. When we're strategies for asking good questions, open-ended questions. So it's not questions which the answer can be yes or no. So it's the question when the other person is the other person will need to understand more openly, using his words, express his opinions, and why is that so, and to he will explain why he thinks so. Good questions which show interest. So you must be interested to the opinions of the other person. If there's question which show interest to the other person, it reckons to be a good question, and his question will lead to mutual understanding. Ask follow-up questions. So it's questions which after one question will be the other question, and it's just like the chain of this questions back and forward. So it's like this discussion. It leads to good discussion or dialogue discussion, or some, in other words, we can say the whole negotiation and communication process. If there is somebody in when you're speaking to not agree with you, you can ask them what could be done to make the situation better. So, and you will listen to their opinion, and they will tell you what they mean on this point, what they think on this point, and you can come to mutual understanding and an agreement. Do not ask question if you already know the answer. So there are situations when some people ask questions when they know the answer, but can be used when not to keep silent or to make sure of something. Of course, if you're not, if you're doubting something, you can also to get sure to answer question, even if you're already know the answer, but try not to repeat many times the answer which you already know. Benefits of listening. What about listening? It's a good communication skill, which and important because there are people which speak more when in the back and forward communication. They speak more, but they forget to gain information from other person. And of course, listening is just like important, like asking questions. When you're listening to the other person, you learn new things. You develop better understanding between the whole parties of this communication process. You are tend to make better decisions because when you listen to every person of this communication process, and they know your opinion, and you know the opinion of every person, and of course it will make you understand better each other, and this will lead to better decisions. Saving time, of course, we can say that is also the benefit of good listening, because when you're not listen to the other person, you just make your own conclusions, you make your own hard decisions, and if something not listen and you not listen to the other person, you don't possess the whole information, and of course you will not make good decision, and also you will lose time. So it will next time you will need to, of course, to open up these questions again and again, and then return to them. It's better from the beginning to listen good, to ask questions, and to develop better understanding. What can be in the communication process is hard when it's hard to communicate. The reasons can be lack of interest on some point, can be also distracting delivery, noise or other distractions, and attitude. So psychological factor, we can say that lack of interest and attitude, where you not possess good attitude between the parties of this communication process. So try to ask questions and to try to listen to them. Why are something they believe or not, something they would like to say, or something they this person or people agree with or not agree with, and some reasons which can be barrier to good listening and understanding, a noise or other distractions. But this life factor, which can be also in some meeting, which can be just put another time to another meeting. So just the problems which are easily more easily resolved when psychological or person factor. So it's just for everybody, just tips for active listening. Also, you may know this, but just we'll repeat another time. What can be good tips for active listening? It's just pay attention to every person of this communication process. Show them that you are listening, and of course listen carefully also. Not just show that you're listening, but also listen. Try to understand. When you're just sincere in your attitude, in your attention to the other persons, it will be perceived good, and everybody will like you in this process, and everybody will believe in what you're saying, and will accept you in this process, and in this meeting, negotiation, and maybe some business. So you'll build even more good relationships, friend relationships, cross-cultural. For example, when you're speaking about cross-cultural, you can build the same way good cross-cultural communications, like friends, or like even business. Show you understand. When you're understanding, just if something when you understand, and just not hard to show that you understand, but something you are not understand, you just try to ask questions, not be shy to re-answer or answer again when you're just not understand. Um, let the person repeat what they're saying. Allow the speaker to finish. So do not interrupt. Interruption, as everybody knows, is not very good. When you're interrupting, it's not leads to good communication and shows you as not a good negotiator, not a good communicator when you're interrupting. So when somebody has his point of view, some opinion on the matter here speaking, allow him to finish his speech. Providing feedback, as we already speak about, providing feedback as good moment to resolve some difficulties in misunderstanding in communication process. All right, what we have next about giving and receiving feedback. So when you provide feedback, it can be balanced, both positive and negative. No matter what point you are speaking to, negative or positive. So try to make the balance. Even you have much more negative moments than positive, so try to smooth them and to make this little balance. So not to show not everything so bad. And even if something very good, you're not just not say, but it's very good, and just everybody's working is all right. So you must also say that something they need to work again, or something they need to make their work even better. So I think that this balance between positive and negative will provide the better feedback, the better communication. To be specific and non-judgmental. So when you gather information, when giving and receiving feedback, you're just gathering information, you're giving your information. So we're just not in, we're not judge, we're just gathering information and analyze it. So, and also we must be, what can we say about specific? That is the best way to be specific. So to ask simple questions and try to be understandable to each other. Providing suggestions and guidance. So of course, when you propose your own suggestions and you ask for the other people to give their own suggestions, their view to the whole problem or situation. To be timely. So of course, to know when you need to hear the other answer on the question. So not you're just when you have a meeting between people and it's the forward back communication. It's not like lecture when you're speaking or just some when you're just one communicator in some maybe some situation, but you are resolving some problems and you have many members in this communication process. Of course, it's very important to have timely questions and answers, asking questions and to get the answers on the questions. So it's try to build these questions the way to get more information. So possessing the whole information from every person is important to provide good feedback and to make your communication process better. So it's when providing feedback and when receiving feedback, you can see that this we can say that we try not to listen carefully, not to argue. Also, we can say for each other advice for improvements. So that it's opinions on every person, advising on improvements. So maybe the other person knows more ways to improve the situation when you think. Then summarizing. When you're analyzing the whole information, of course, you're summarizing what you have heard from every person. And it can be not only you summarizing. We just can, in conclusion, we can say this, repeat the whole information which we have gathered, and then summarizing together the whole, every person in this communication process. Showing appreciation. So it's appreciation, respect to each other. Also, we can just little talk about strategies for success when effective communication is more in business communication. When we have communication is the fundamental aspect in both personal and professional life. You can just discuss business ideas, resolving conflicts, make important decisions, and of course just repeat something a little about the importance of effective communication in negotiations. So some strategies, let's just look through. I will not read everything that's on the slide. Just look through some key reasons which are effective and essential. Building rapport and trust. So effective communication helps establish rapport and trust between negotiators. When parties feel understood and respected, they are more likely to operate and work towards finding mutually beneficial solutions. So everything you see, you just, of course, you know this information. And just repeating or something maybe out of the repeating these points, maybe one of you will have some questions or some maybe other tips or some information which he can add to this. So we just, I think everything you or almost of this you know this, but just as we repeat, we must get to another maybe or agreement or some solution or some maybe just points which you would like to say aloud. Understanding interests and needs, and just when you communicate effectively, allows negotiators to uncover each other's underlying interests and needs. By active listening and asking probing questions, negotiators can gain valuable insights that can lead to creative problem solving. Then managing emotion. As I told about this, there's control over emotions, managing emotions. Negotiator can be emotionally charged, but effective communication can help manage these emotions, maintain good emotional state, calm and professional atmosphere. We can use empathetic language, active listening, and to monitor these emotions constructively, and such out of this we can prevent unnecessary conflicts. Or as I can see that some person asking questions, right? How can businesses effectively navigate and address cultural nuances and differences in communication styles to ensure successful international collaborations and negotiations in today's globalized business environment? So we can say that to effectively navigate what cultural nuances, we just understand that there are cultural nuances. What can be when you have business. I think we just line these things up. We just open these things up to our negotiation process. We can just speak about them in some meeting. So we don't just perceive every person in our negotiation process, in our meeting. We just understand that this person are from other countries. For example, some cultural nuances, of course, we must at the first meeting we must not know maybe some nuances. Of course, even when I speak with people from other countries, something I know little but not nuances, and they just can tell about them, and I will just listen to them and understand and accept these nuances and say all right. And when we have this, I think these nuances will not prevent from this communication. So for me, of course, so just understand that some nuances can be cultural, but when we have deal with or just friendly communication or just business communication, that will not be obstacles to leading some matter to go to our, if we have one goal. If we have a business, it happens to be that in business there are main goal and mutual goals, mutual benefits out of this business communication, and we're going to this mutual goal, our targets, our strategy. We just can make our strategy out of communication on this point. So in my mind, it will not be the obstacles. So when people reckon, there are some maybe people which can be cultural difference. There are obstacles to them to build friendship relationships or business relationships. For example, if there are obstacles to them, they will not do this communication. They will not just be involved in this whole process. But there are people, and I think there are more people which just accept these nuances and understand these nuances, and it's not a problem. And everything by communication, it can be resolved, or so to say, to put up to this meeting on to spoken of this, to speak of this, and we just come to our mutual conclusion and mutual understanding, and it's not such obstacles. I think in this there are more maybe psychological, some problems can be, obstacles can be when people not try to understand and not trying to accept the opinions or the thoughts of each other. So there are the obstacles. So to say cultural nuances, it's very we cannot say that they are that cultural nuances 100% will lead to some obstacles. No, I can say it's not true. I cannot say about this that every cultural nuances, it's just like nuances, it's just like differences between us and every person. If we say about this that every person is different and we're not just the same as the other person, and every person has his nuances or differences between each other. So the word cultural just means that the person is from the other country. What he has, maybe he has different time of the day, different maybe lifestyle, different some thoughts in every on some points, but it can be understandable when speaking about this between people. So to come back to our managing emotions, we just on the slide, we just told about this managing emotions, then creating win-win solutions. So of course, when understanding, when negotiators are enabled to explore various options, collaborate together, this collaboration, this leads towards win-win solutions. They show their, of course, to create these win-win solutions, we need to show our interest in opinions of other persons and listen to them, considering on every party's perspective, and this is solutions that will satisfy both sides. So I think the name of this solution, win-win, right? That's that every party is understandable, is satisfied with this conclusion which they are, in this decision of some matter which they are speaking about. Then, right, what can we say? About strategies, but it's the same words which were talked already, but to look through what strategies to enhance communication skills that will lead to successful outcomes. Active listening and with talking to understand, empathize, clarify. What's clarifying? So this is for clarifying, active listening. For clarifying and understanding, that's paying attention to speakers' words, also not only words, tone, nonverbal cues, at the point of this, to gain comprehensive understanding on their message. Of course, avoid interrupting and allow the speaker to express themselves fully to the whole point, what he's trying to say. Empathizing. You put yourself in the speaker's shoes. So, so to say, to be in speaker's shoes and to try to understand him and their perspective, their emotions. You show empathy by acknowledging his feelings. So this the whole which we are have been spoken about, acknowledging the main thoughts of the other person, the feelings and their experience, to get information and try to understand it. The experience of the person which is expressing his thoughts, his opinion, his mind. This is empathizing. Clarifying. So it's asking questions when it is necessary. So if something you don't understand, you just re-speak, you speak again, you just re-ask, ask the question again and again, maybe in different words, if the person doesn't understand your words which you're asking. So just another additional question can just show that you're understood, but you confirm your comprehension, and that will lead to avoid misinterpretation, misunderstanding. The other, clear and concise communication. Concise, so you can say what you mean. You just try to gather words to say what you mean. So is vital in every communication to avoid misunderstandings and confusion. What can be an additional tips to be concise in communication? To use plain language. Of course, we avoid jargon and technical terms which can be not understandable to the other person. It can be unfamiliar to the other part of this communication process. It's better to use simple and straightforward language to convey your message clearly. What we mean under the be specific. So specific details, you provide them, and examples that support your points. So just to make your speech more vital, you just add examples to this speech and avoid vague statements, which can lead to misinterpretation. Organizing your thoughts. So this will use to simple and understandable language. Organizing thoughts, so just to structure your communication, to make to structure your thoughts, so they can be logical and organized. It's better when you show some information on slides or something, maybe information which you lead to the other person through email, through telephone, through cell phones, or some technical devices. Just it's better to use headings, subheadings, some points which will be accessible, digestible, maybe it's to say, that will show that your thoughts are organized, and this also will lead to mutual understanding. What can we say about nonverbal communication? So the body language. Body language, gestures, and facial expressions, they also are powerful messages in negotiation. So it's very necessary to pay attention to your own nonverbal cues, and also you must watch and be mindful to the other party's signals. So, in what other key aspects of the nonverbal communication? Repeating this, which also we have mentioned that, again, maintain eye contact. So establishing and maintaining eye contact shows attentiveness, sincerity. So when you avoid eye contact, it can be perceived like disinterest or some deception or non-confidence or whatever. Using open and inviting body language. So it's better to take the open posture, relax shoulders, uncrossed arms. Of course, when person's crossing his arms, it's not very good because it shows not person is not open to this communication process. Then you can just little when you're just sitting in the whole at the table and you're not meeting the first time in your life, you can just in some ways you can lean towards the speaker a little to demonstrate interest, to demonstrate engagement, and to demonstrate that you are involved in the communication process. The next key factor, mirror and match. So what's mirror? It's just like that you take the posture of the body which your person, which you're speaking to, is also taken. So it's the same, maybe alike gestures, a little alike. You will not, of course, you cannot be unnatural and make gestures like your partner is doing in this communication process. But if you're just sitting and he's open minded, open, and he's interested in this communication process, of course, you just show that you're too interested and you're just acceptable and you're just open to this information which he's telling to you. Then of course it's not good to mimic or to make something with your face which will show your insincerity, or just to be natural. It's good to be you can just mirror the body language of the other person of this communication process, but you mind that you must be natural. Emotional intelligence. So to manage emotions effectively, emotional intelligence. Under this term, we understand the ability to recognize and manage your own emotions and understand the emotions of others. So you can see that we just speaking about many points, but from different aspects or in different words. So the essence of this communication process, of these tips, they're not too much good. These tips for the good communication process, they just are being lightened up in different words and different terms. So the whole point is one, and the essence of this communication process is one. And we can say that under the emotional intelligence, that is playing crucial role in negotiations. And some strategies to enhance this emotional intelligence, self-awareness. So we recognize, and when you're recognizing and understanding your own emotions and how they influence on the other person, how they influence on the behavior and decision making of the other persons and your own decision making. And you just when you're leading this business communication, you just take a moment to reflect on your emotions before responding, and take a moment, give this time for the other person to reflect and to respond on your emotions, on his emotions, on the words. So let's take awareness that includes emotional state of the words you're just giving, you're percepting, empathy. Put yourself on the other party's shoes, of course. So we just talked about that. That you just trying your understanding in every aspect, the emotional state, the thoughts of the other person. Emotional regulation. So you develop techniques to manage your emotions effectively during negotiation. When just in not very good emotional state, you can take deep breaths, you practice mindfulness, and use positive self-talk to play calm and focus. The other point to use effective question techniques. Gather information and clarify. Also we have spoken about that asking effective questions is powerful communication tool in negotiation. It helps to gather information, clarify misunderstandings, and encourage the other party to share their perspective. What can be the techniques for effective questioning? Open-ended question. In simple words, open-ended questions, which we are talking about. These questions begin with what, how, why. So the answer of these questions can be yes or no just. So these questions prompt the speaker to elaborate. It prompts the person who answers to answer in different words to prove their thought and why is that so, not just yes or no. Reflective questions. Reflective questions demonstrate active listening, show that you understand the speaker's perspective. When you're repeating, you repeat or paraphrase your statements to confirm your understanding. So questions can be re-questioned, re-paraphrased, or paraphrased, or say in other words the same question to confirm that you understand and you are understanding the other person understand you. Clarifying questions. When you face with confusion, you are asking clarifying questions to ensure that you have clear understanding of the speaker's message. So you can seek special details or example to avoid misinterpretation. Then next, we can just repeat, negotiate with respect and courtesy. So some ways that will lead to foster collaboration. So it's we need to treat the other party with respect and maintain this courteous attitude. So the ways if you're interested in this, people when you're communicating just need to remember these ways if you want to collaborate further life. Avoiding personal attacks. So you just focus on the issues at hand and avoid personal attacks or derogatory language. So the conversation and your words must be professional and respectful. Acknowledge and validate. You show appreciation for the other party's perspective and contribution. Acknowledge their ideas and validate their experience. It's very good to build this rapport and trust. We must just seek common ground. Look for areas and shared interests to foster collaboration. So we just line up or emphasize the mutual benefits of finding a solution that satisfies both sides. The next point we can add is flexibility and adaptability. So to be open-minded, open to new ideas. Negotiation requires flexibility and adaptability to navigate unexpected challenges, explore new possibilities. So when you're just open to new ideas, and this will create a more collaborative environment and innovative environment. And some tips or strategies for this flexibility, which can just line up as well. So open-minded. So we avoid rigid positions, and we adaptable to changing circumstances. We are willing to consider alternative solutions if something we are not agreed with. Creative problem solving. So we must encourage creative problem solving by brainstorming and exploring multiple options. So it's just such brainstorming such questions we can be answered at the same time. So just creative is problem solving in some ways when just searching for some the way out of some problem. We just in this communication process, we just ask these questions which are named brainstorming. So just to answer immediately in the same way. And it happens to be that immediate some decision, immediate some answer on the question can be the best way out of this problem. So it happens in life happens and such things that brainstorming will help to solve some situation. Then focus on interest, not position. So we just not looking at the person and see that he has his position, and we just if we just on will be focused on positions, it will can lead to conflicts. But we just mind the interest of the every person in this communication process. So there must be needs. What are the needs? What are the motivations of every person? And when you understand these interests and needs and motivations of every person on this point, you will find solution and that will satisfy the every party of this communication process. Then practice active negotiation. So to say that ways to active practice negotiation. So to be in good communication, so to say, style in this, to not to forget this experience, to maintain this experience, communication experience. There are some ways to actively practice negotiation. What is you can say about role playing? That is in business communication, it means that engage in role playing exercises to provide different negotiation scenarios, practice your communication skills. So there are some cases, for example, just at some meetings, we just say we can take some different cases to practice this negotiation skills, to seek feedback and from mentors or identify areas for improvement, such different problems. Seeking feedback, as we just is in every time, it's very relevant. So asking for feedback from colleagues, clients, or mentors have observed negotiation skills. Their insight can provide valuable perspectives and help you refine your approach. Continual learning. So you must stay updated on negotiation techniques, theories, and best practices by reading books, making meetings, attending workshops, and enrolling negotiation courses. So when you're just gathering this knowledge and you're just trying to, and you will be better and better in this communication skills. Then we can say that effective communication is a critical component of successful negotiation. So the main points that we can just line up or summarize the tips for successful business communication negotiation. So to say, just this repeat this. You have ensuring that you have clear understanding for the other party. Then be the driver of the story. So just if there are two people who are sharing this process, you just show that you are the driver of the story. You can just initiator of the some problem, resolving of some problem. You must be sure that you have professional knowledge, solid experience. You just express your experience and tell everything that you, the experience that which you have in situation like this, and tell about them, the other person, and tell about them what knowledge you have. Taking advantage of everything in your power. So just the next, control emotions, respect the other party, of course, and just like summarizing that you must respect every person and control emotions, and even if there's some person is taking his emotions or emotional control, it happens to be so also, just try to take the situation under your own control. Stick to the point of view, don't negotiate too much. You at the same time, you must stick to your point of view and understand to express it, but not negotiate too much when the other person is wants to share his own experience, he show his interest. Then be patient, don't rush to accept the offer. If somebody is expressing his positions, but ask questions, re-ask, and be sure that their decision is quite good, and just don't rush to be very don't ask to accept this. Don't ask to be very to rush in this situation. So we must listen to every person of this negotiation process, and maybe you will need time to rethink this. But on the one meeting, we just can just be on one point, just some points we can just take to other meeting. But if there is some serious decision, we must not make this rushful decision on some serious point if it's in business communication. And consider benefits for both parties. Of course, it will be very good that benefits can be from for every party of this communication process. All right, and let's say maybe there are some slides, but they are repeating the same that what I have said, but I have repeated this several times. But maybe some of you have questions, or can I just ask the organizer, excuse me, Novita, can I ask you? Maybe somebody of you have questions, or because the main information of this lecture I have shown to you. Maybe some of you have questions, and just please, or something to repeat for you. Some points we have repeated several times, and maybe somebody of you have in mind something which I have not cleared something up. Maybe some additional tip, maybe some something you will not agree with. Just please. Maybe we have here, dear students, maybe you have some questions to me. I would like to answer them. Novita. Maybe some questions because we just repeated maybe.
Oh, yeah, we have the question from participant in the YouTube from Mr. Sukamto. I'm ready, right in the room catcher, Miss. Sorry.
This question, I have this question, I answered yes.
Uh-huh.
That cultural nuances, when we address the cultural nuances, they can be understandable for the person
Yes,
who are new.
correct. Oh yeah, Miss, for your information for the time presentation is 5 minutes again, Miss. Thank you. Yeah, for the
So
yeah.
uh, I will ask you again and not understand. We just 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, we some questions will be, or it's all right.
Yeah, for the question because in for 30 from for our student will back to home, Miss. So we have 5 minutes again for presentation and continue with Q&A session.
All right,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I can see another
yeah.
question.
Maybe you can answering first for question from students, sure, Miss.
How
Yeah.
to make a nice relationship between the business partner on international business meeting while we still not too close on yet the communication because of the lack of information and the culture. So of course, just to try to um, to contact with him to make this meeting. Even if you're from different countries, we can make online meeting and clear things up to understand this. If you have lack information, the best way just to ask for information, to make as many answers as you can make. So to get this the whole information, ask the other business partner to give information, and then if he is just giving you this information, maybe in what way, maybe device through some device, maybe it's some sheet papers or just some electronic document or something. You can just be familiar with this information, but of course you need to speak to him, because speaking just is not just the words on the paper, and just speaking and asking questions, it um, uh, will help to avoid misunderstandings. The culture again, especially for me, I can see the problems from one person from different cultures, from different you know, countries are in some communication process. I think everything is understandable. We're not such different from each other, so so to not to perceive the differences in culture. So it's not a problem, and some nuances can be understandable.
Okay, thank you for answering. And then another question from Ms. Sukamto. How can business effectively navigate and address cultural nuance and different in communication style to ensure successful international collaboration and negotiation in today's globalized business environment? The question from Ms. Sukamto. Thank you.
Right. Uh, in simple words, just please can see this question. Maybe you will just repeat in simple words, because how can say in this is the first, right?
Yes, Miss.
Mhm.
The new
All
chat.
right. Uh-huh. All right. Um, how can business effectively navigate and address cultural nuances? Um, businesses, so to say that business can navigate cultural nuances, uh, just to line up the differences and speak on them. If we just accept them, that if there are some nuances, we just percept them and see if this is a problem to our business or not. if, for example, people from different countries, time zones, and if it's obstacle to our business, there are maybe some businesses that can be an obstacle, time differences. So we just trying to think what can we do to not to overcome these obstacles. But I can say that the obstacle can be in business when even we must work from one country, and when it's a very large difference in time zones. For example, Ukraine and Canada, or for half of the or our planet Earth, when one country has day and other has night. So, and its business can be online, something from, for example, it can be the obstacle, but when the person understands these obstacles and they are agreed to overcome them, so maybe it's one of the hard concepts when it's a very big time zone, and it's when you see which business is, because there are businesses which time zones and differences is not obstacles. Collaboration can be between people from different countries, and they are just have this work they need to do, just gather a meeting, they speaking about these nuances, speaking about the terms of the work. So through speaking, through communication, it's not difficult to the people who are good communicators, good negotiators. It's not difficult to build these strategies to overcome these cultural nuances and differences. So they own their own communication style. When their acquaintances many years and many business they have dealt with, so they have own communication style, and I think that whatever obstacles can be, they will overcome them. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for answering, Miss Margarita. I think we don't have no more question again from all participants. Yeah, before I close this event, for the presentation, is it enough or no, Miss? I'm sorry.
uh, so just mm,
Okay, yeah. Okay, for all participants, please open your camera. I will take a picture on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Okay, another one. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Thank you for your keen cooperation. Finally, we come to the end of visiting lecture today. We would like to say to Miss Margarita for the wonderful information and sharing your knowledge. We hope this information will be beneficial for all participants. At least we hope to have more collaboration in the future with University Custom Finance Ukraine. The visiting lecture for today and here. We hope to see you soon. Thank you and have a nice day. Thank you so much for Miss Margarita.
thank you.
Thank you and goodbye for our participant.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a nice day.